Hi guys, what's up? I'm super duper excited to bring you this full series of lectures on No More Mr. Nice Guy. So, in this video series, I'm going to talk about all the parts of nice guys, that is the developmental process. How do nice guys become like that? What are the problems of nice guys? Why being a nice guy is a bad thing? Then we are going to talk about how to overcome the nice guy syndrome, how to get over that nice guy syndrome. And we are going to use some exercises, we are going to use some mindsets, and I'll be sharing some very insightful and helpful knowledge with you and information with you that will help you get over the nice guy syndrome. So this is going to be a long lecture. So don't try to watch it in once. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break this entire lecture down into smaller pieces. So maybe 4 or 5 video lectures are going to come next. This is going to be the part 1 of the video series. So in this part, I'm just going to be talking about the first part of the content, which is the development of nice guys and what is happening inside your brain psychologically and what is happening around you, like situation wise. Okay, what kind of environment you're living in that leads you to become a nice guy. So again, before starting, I want to mention that this is a problem that I have faced while growing up, and this was one of the biggest problems that have kind of stopped my life. Due to this problem, I was not able to succeed in areas like dating, like making friends, like my own college, my own life, etc. So this was a very crucial part of my life, and I had to get over it. I had no other, I had no other option but to solve this problem of my life, or I knew that I would never get ahead in life. This is a problem that can paralyze men, that can paralyze young men, and usually there is no cure, right? There is no guaranteed cure, right? So you have to understand that this is a lifelong journey, right? You are never going to become perfect. We are not seeking perfection. What we are seeking is a continual development, right? So you are going to develop. If you're serious about personal development, if you're serious about your growth, you will be developing for your entire life till the day you die, right? So this is the reason I wanted to clarify this in the start of the video, is that this problem is something that I have faced and I struggled with, and it's a lifelong work. It's not something like you can work, for like 1 month and get it over with, right? It is a lifestyle, just like meditation, just like eating healthy, just like working out, or just like maintaining your relationships and maintaining your business, maintaining your job. This is something which is going to be a lifestyle. This is something which is going to be a lifelong work. Okay, so the more you understand yourself, the better you will be able to live your life. I hope that my work and my insight will help you in this journey too. So let's start the first chapter. Before we begin, I want to do a very quick reality check. So the reality check is like there is no key to smooth life, and this is something that I am directly quoting from the book No More Mr. Nice Guy. Okay, so there is no key to a smooth life. Being good or doing it right doesn't insulate nice guys from chaotic, ever-changing realities of life. All the nice guys paradigm does is create a wimpy man who allows bullies to kick sand in their face or shame them for loading the dishwasher wrong, right? So it's very common that nice guys will get bullied or will get blamed or will get shamed for something very small or something very minuscule or insignificant, like loading the dishwasher wrong. So you will continuously see this, like in the relationships in which nice guys are. They may be in a romantic relationship, they may be dating somebody, or they may be somebody's friend. And what will happen is the other person will constantly try to bully them. The other person will constantly try to kick sand in the face. It's a phrase, kicking sand in the face. That means shaming them or bullying them or blaming them for something that they have not done. And what nice guys will do is nice guys will accept it, and nice guys will be like, yeah, fine, I guess that's the person who I am, so I can't really fight back, I can't really stand for myself, I can't really say anything. So the first distinction I want to create is When people say nice guys, what they misunderstand is that nice guys are polite men. Okay. So nice guys are not polite men. Nice guys are wimpy, are weak, right? So another way of saying that you are a nice guy is that you are a wimpy man. You are a pussy. You are a weak man. Okay. So this is the reason you have to constantly impress other people, because you think that you are not enough on your own. You're not enough in your own skin. As recovering nice guys begin to surrender, dwell in reality, express their feelings, face their fears, develop integrity, and set boundaries, they access a power that allows them to welcome and embrace the challenges and gifts of life. Life isn't a merry-go-round, it's a roller coaster. As they reclaim personal power, recovering nice guys can experience the world in all of its serendipitous beauty. Life won't always be smooth. It may not always be pretty, but it will always be an adventure, not one to be missed. And this is something that nice guys try to avoid. They try to avoid life itself. They try to avoid the dangers or the uncertainties or the challenges thrown by life. They try to avoid they try to avoid facing their fears. They try to avoid adversities, right? But these things are a part of life. You cannot become a mature, healthy, adult, strong person unless and until you have the guts, you have the balls to face these challenges, and you have some common sense and you have some intelligence to get over these challenges. So the challenges are going to come. You cannot you cannot just get rid of the challenges. What you have to do is you have to continually face progressively challenging tasks, right? I'm not saying just do everything at once. I understand that you might be in a vulnerable position right now. I understand that you might be at a place where things are not very pretty, things are not very amazing. So, what you can do is you can start from a small victory. You can start from facing a small challenge. You can start from facing a small demon of yours. You can start from facing a small problem. You can start from facing a small adversity, solving it, focusing on one thing at a time, right? And then moving ahead. So this is just a reality check before we start. Okay. So here are the contents that we are going to be talking about. So the first chapter is, what do I mean by a nice guy and why is it such a bad thing? This is going to be the first chapter that we are going to talk about. Then we are going to talk about the birth of a nice guy or soft man or weak man. Are you a nice guy? So in the second part, we are going to discuss about personality traits, and we are going to discuss about the way you live your life in order to find out whether you are a nice guy or not, and how deep you are in the water of this nice guy, right? How deep are you stuck in this nice guy syndrome? So a lot of you who are watching, some of you might have like just one or two character traits or personality traits of a nice guy, but most of you will have a lot of other traits. Most of you are going to have plenty of traits, plenty of personality disorders that originate from a nice guy syndrome. The third part of the book, or the third part of the entire lecture series, is going to be breaking free from the nice guy syndrome and becoming a mature and powerful man. So this is going to be a 3-4 part series, and I want you to take your time to understand and go through all of that series, because there is going to be a lot of content. There is going to be a lot of material in this, right? I am going to be going very slow so that you understand everything that I talk about. I am going to be giving you examples. I'm going to be giving you stories from my life. I'm going to be sharing the reasons for certain things that might not be very obvious. So what I want you to do is I want you to just grab a coffee, grab your tea, grab your popcorn, uh, take a pen and a paper and sit down and start making notes. Start making notes on this video. Start making notes on this lecture series, right? And try to relate it back to your life and see what are some things that match one on one, right? See what are some things that you're doing wrong. Try to relate everything to your life and see, ask yourself this question: in what part of my life am I doing these things? in which area of my life I am behaving like this. Like, what are the situations in which I become a nice guy? So do that. Make notes because that will be very, very helpful. Moving ahead. First thing, what do I mean by a nice guy and why is it such a bad thing? So, first of all, nice guys are concerned about looking good and doing it right. They are happiest when they are making other people happy. Nice guy avoid conflict like the plague and will go to a great lengths to avoid upsetting anyone. In general, nice guys are peaceful and generous. Nice guys are especially concerned about pleasing women and being different from other men. In a nutshell, nice guys believe that if they are good, giving, and caring, they will in return be happy, loved, and fulfilled. So, just about this paragraph, I want to break it down a little bit more. The first line that is in the paragraph is nice guys are concerned about looking good and doing it right. They are happiest when they are making others happy. I noticed this when I was playing football in my college, and then I noticed this when I was learning cold approach and social skills and social dynamics and game later in my life. So, what I was noticing is that when I was playing football, my main goal was not to just score a lot of goals because I used to play at the striker side. I used to be the striker for my team. So my main goal was not to, you know, make as many goals as possible and make my team proud and you know be the one of the best players that my college has. That was not my goal at all. My goal was to make sure that other people notice how hard I'm playing and make sure that other people give me compliments. That was my goal. My entire goal was just to get compliments from other team members who are better than me, who are a better player than me, or who are seniors than me. They can give me a compliment like, Rahul, it's okay. Even if you could not score the goal, you're trying your best, you're giving your best. I can see your hard work. We can see your dedication towards the game. We can see that you love the game, right? And the similar thing happened when I was going out to meet women, when I was going out to learn social skills, social dynamics. What I would do is I would very rarely go out alone because because when I'm going out alone, there is nobody around me that I can impress, and which was a sad thing for me because I needed to impress somebody. I was not going out to get laid. I was not going out to meet somebody. I was not going out to have fun. I was not going out to improve my skill set. Why I was going out? So that my wingmen or people who are out with me can see me giving my 100%, can see me uh, working so hard, and they can give me compliments like, wow, Rahul, wow, wow, you're so amazing. You are working so hard. You are approaching everybody, right? You are so persistent. But I knew deep down that I'm just doing it to show other guys so that other guys give me approval and validation, so that other guys around me would give me compliments that, yeah, bro, you're doing it right. Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Yeah, man, you are going to get the result one day soon, right? That was one of the problems. Now, the change that change happened when I completely cut out of my friend circle and I started going out alone. I forced myself to go out alone. It was one of the most difficult things that I would do. That I would go out and first thing I would do is I would sit down and I would download some motivational videos on my phone, and I would go in a corner and I would buy something to drink like a juice or something like a fruit juice or a tea or a coffee. I would buy something to drink and I would watch that motivational video. Right, I would watch two, three motivational videos. Then I would go out and approach somebody. Right, so I would do two, three approaches. Then I would get back to having another tea and then watching more motivational videos. Then I would go out, do two, three, four more approaches. Right, this is how I started, and I'm sure that if you have tried to go out alone, you might have also felt like this. But it can be possible that I was a little bit more. I was in a way worse situation than most of you. Okay, so that's what I was doing. I was trying to avoid conflict, right? So if I like a girl and if somebody else likes the same girl, what I would do is I would generally step away. I would be like, no, no, it's okay. I can get some other girl. You go and talk to this girl. It's okay, bro. I'm your friend, bro. I understand. Now, all these things It was not genuine. It was not genuine friendship. It was not honest friendship. What it was simply me trying to get away from a conflict. Because if I like the girl and if the other guy also likes the girl and he's better than me, then if I get the girl, then he may stop hanging out with me again. If I get that girl, if I got her number, if I picked her up or if I asked her out, then the other guy might stop coming out with me. Now that was a concern that I've had. Another reason I was doing that is because if I go for the same girl and the other guy is also going for the same girl, we are both trying to hit on the same girl, we are both trying to get her number. What would happen is that sometimes the other guy will become confrontational, right? He would become aggressive, he would go all out, right? And that would scare me because I wanted to avoid conflict. I did not like conflict. I did not like it when somebody else is in competition with me, right? So I hated competition. I tried to avoid competition as much as possible, right? I don't know why to this date I don't like competitions very much. So I think this is a part of me that it still needs some recovering, and this is the reason I'm being very very honest with you. I'm not trying to say that I am perfect in any way shape or form. All I'm trying to say is I have been doing a lot of work in this area of men, in this area of masculinity, and in this area of personal development, and I know what are my pitfalls. I understand what are the areas in which I am weak, right? So I think competition is an area in which I'm still weak. I need to work on that a little bit more. In general, nice guys are peaceful and generous. So that's what I was, right? I was like, bro, it's okay. मेरे को कोई भी बंदी चलेगी, right? Just give me any girl. I am cool. I just don't want to fight with you, right? Even if the girl is a little bit, you know, not very attractive, ugly, a little bit overweight, she's not my type, I am not attracted to her, I'm still going to go with her in order to avoid conflict, in order to be peaceful and generous, right? I would give way more than I would want to give just because I can avoid competition, just because I can avoid conflict. Nice guys are especially concerned about pleasing women and being different from men. This is the reason I say that working on your nice guy syndrome is something that you do after you learn game. So while you are learning game, if you're still working on the nice guy syndrome, then it is going to hurt your game, because one of the major things in nice guys or in nice guy syndrome or curing the nice guy problem is that you have to stop seeking validation and attention of women, right? You have to purposefully isolate yourself or distance yourself for some time being from women, and especially from hookups, especially just from going out and trying to impress or trying to attract a bunch of girls just to feel better about yourself, right? In nice guys, like in this lecture, in No More Mr. Nice Guy, or in this book, or in this entire lecture, one of the key lessons is that you have to spend more time with your friends, with your family, with your dad, with your father. And we are going to talk about all of those things in detail. So you have to spend more time with your close people, right? Usually men. You have to be comfortable in being a man again, in being masculine again. So you have to do things with your boys or with your male friends that only men do, right? For example, playing basketball, playing video games, or going for a bike ride, or going hiking, these kind of things. So you have to find ways to spend more time with your men, right? With men in your life, right? With your male friends, with other people that you might be very very close to, right? And you have to kind of stop chasing or seeking the validation of a woman. But in pickup you cannot do this simultaneously, because in pickup it is a huge part of pickup to get the girl to like you and to attract the girl and to go ahead and find women's validation and find their approval. So it's okay while when you're learning pickup, understand that you know another phase of life is going to come. So just focus on learning pickup right now, focus on learning social skills, focus on learning game. And when you become a little bit decent at it, then start working on the problem of nice guy. Okay, the problem of being nice. So nice guys are especially concerned about pleasing women and being different from other men. Nice guys feel very, very secure and they feel very comfortable and happy when they're in the vicinity of women or when they're talking to women, right? And this is the problem with a lot of pickup artists, because pickup artists get very competitive and they get very defensive in presence of other men, because they always have a scarcity mindset that there are a limited amount of women on this world. They have a very bad mindset that there are a limited amount of women in this world that I can talk to. If there are more alpha male around them, then it decreases their chances of getting the women that they want to, right? Because it makes them a little bit lower in that dominance hierarchy, right? So usually pickup artists and usually guys who are trying to learn game, or usually guys who are trying to learn game pickup, they have this very negative, or you can say toxic mindset that they try to avoid other high value men, because they think that if they are with the high value man, then they are going to be submissive, and the other high value man is going to take all of their happiness or all of their resources or all of the women in that area or in that vicinity. Let's move on to the second paragraph, which is also amazing. And this is brilliantly written by Robert Bly. So, Robert Bly is the author of Iron John. It's an amazing book. It's a very Jungian book. It's a very psychoanalytic book. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into this, I would suggest that you can read Robert Bly, Iron John, a book about men. That is a very good book, right? So he says that nice guys, okay, nice guys or weak men or soft men or wimpy men, they are lovely, valuable people. I like them. They're not interested in harming the earth or starting wars. There is a gentle attitude toward life in their whole being and their style of living. But many of these men are not happy. You quickly notice the lack of energy in them. They are life preserving, but not exactly life giving. Ironically, you see these men with strong women who positively radiate energy. Here we have a finely tuned young man, ecologically superior to his father, sympathetic to the whole harmony of the universe, yet he himself has very little vitality to offer. I'm also going to add a little bit of Friedrich Nietzsche in this. Nietzsche said that in the early stages of your life as a man, you should stay away from anything which is otherworldly. So basically, what Nietzsche is warning us or warning young men to do, to not to do, is stay away from very high levels of metaphysics or very high levels of spirituality, right? You have to become, like, if you want to become a strong man, you have to become a person who can function very, very well in the material world first, right? Not in the spiritual world first, right? But material world. Your life progresses in such a way that the first phase of your life, you are basically concerned about relationships. You are basically concerned about, um, getting nurtured by your family, getting well fed, getting the love that you want, right? So you can say that the first 10, 12 years of your life, which is the first phase of your life, you are basically going to be spending a lot of time with your family, with your mom, with your dad, with your cousins, with your brothers, sisters, with your, you know, friends that you might have in your neighborhood. You are going to spend a lot of time with them. So you are going to understand how other people love you, how other people treat you. And in these 0 to 12 years, your personality is going to be formed. And then the second year, and then the second part of your life comes, which is from 12 or from 13 to 24, in which you have to go out and you have to work more on the warrior side of your personality, work more on the, you can say, the aggressive, go-getter, achievement oriented or goals oriented kind of a personality, right? So this is the part from 13 to 24 where we do our 10th boards, or where we go to school, where we go to universities, and where we graduate, right? From 24 onwards, real life starts, right? So you can say that you are actually born again when you go out in the world alone as an individual, without the help of your family, without the help of your friends. This is what happens when like, if you, after the college, if you leave your city or if you leave your town and you go to a new city all alone, and then you figure life out for yourself. So what is happening is you are getting born again when you make that transition, when you make that change, when you move from the smaller city to the bigger city, or from your city, from your hometown to a different hometown. So, what I'm trying to say is, before trying to conquer the metaphysical world or the spiritual world or the psychological world, what you have to do is you have to become good with material world. You have to become good with natural world. You have to good become with things like money. You have to become good with things like competition. You have to integrate your shadow, right? You have to integrate some parts of you that are not very cute, that are not very pretty, that are not very wholesome, right? That might be a little bit, you can say, harmful, that might be a little bit evil, that might be a little bit dangerous, right? So you might have a friend in school, right? And let's imagine that you guys are in the same classroom and you both are working on the same grades. Now, if you keep on helping that guy and not studying for your own exam, then you are going to fail, which is a bad thing. So you have to focus on yourself first. You have to focus on yourself first, which can seem like an immoral thing to do, because why won't you want to help your friend? Right? Why won't you want to help out a guy in need, which is your friend, right? So you would feel like I should, teach him, I should help him out with the exams. But what I would encourage you to do is I would encourage you to be a little bit selfish and sit down and study for your own, and let that guy handle his own life. If he fails, he fails. He will learn that lesson and move ahead, right? But if he keeps on depending on you to pass the exams, then he might never learn how to succeed. So the best thing to do would be being a little bit selfish, or being a little bit not so nice. Surprise, surprise, right? So these people, nice guys, are lovely, valuable. They're like gentle creatures, like they are cows. They're like cows, right? They're like, you can say they are a little bit like women. They're a little bit like feminine, right? They like to do nice things. They want to enjoy peaceful time. They're very graceful, etc., etc. But they don't have that life enhancing factor, right? They don't radiate energy. They don't radiate confidence, right? They don't radiate, a life giving kind of energy. In the starting, I would say that arrogance is still a better thing than being very polite. But because if you are very polite from the start, then it can be very, very difficult for you to be arrogant, or be a little bit self confident, or be a little bit, you know, self centered in the future, right? It's difficult to go from polite to arrogant or self confident, right? But it's easy if you are an arrogant guy, or if you are a very self confident guy, to come down to a level of politeness. It's easy to do that. Always making the negative transition is easy. So you quickly notice the lack of energy in them. It's like you cannot depend on them. They're nice guys, they don't cause any troubles, but you cannot fucking depend on them, because you know that when the time will come, when the pressure will mount up, when there will be a time to do or die, they're going to chicken out, they're going to pussy out, they will not perform well under pressure. And that's not the kind of guy that you want to be your leader. That's not the kind of guy who you want to be side by side when there is a fight happening, when there is a war going on, right? You want the other guy to be as aggressive as you, or even a little bit more aggressive than you, right? So the more aggressive or the more wild that guy is, the more comfortable you're going to feel trusting him, right? The same thing happens with your goals, with your achievements, with your desires, with your dreams. If you're not very aggressive, if you don't have this motive of, I will do whatever the fuck it takes to reach my goal, then other people are going to, like just step on you, and other people are going to completely destroy you in life. So you have to become somebody who is a nice guy, who is a good person, but he can also harm you, right? You have to kind of become like a monster, as Jordan Peterson would say. So, in the words of Jordan Peterson, you have to become a monster that decides not to harm other people, that decides not to be evil, right? You have to become a monster that decides that he is going to work for the good. Now, that is more powerful. So this sentence in and of itself is self-explanatory, right? I don't want to mix up a lot of things in the last sentence, and I have very carefully picked up these sentence so that I can transfer the essence of the entire book with you, and also some of my personal stories, and also some different angles of perception, so that you can understand this very very well. So this is, we are still on the first chapter, and this is the second part of the first chapter. What do I mean by a nice guy, and why is it such a bad thing? So we have been talking about nice guys do this, nice guys do that. We have been talking about a little bit, we have been talking a lot about, you can say, the character development of a nice guy, or the personality structure of a nice guy, right? We are trying to get the general essence of what nice guy is. But why is it such a bad thing? So here are some of the reasons why being a nice guy is bad. First thing is, nice guys are givers with expectations. They always give with a string attached. If they're doing something nice for you, you always know that there is a hidden agenda. They're never going to love you without any expectation. They're never going to give anything without any expectation. They have this invisible contract that if I have done something for you, you automatically owe me something, right? Like, they always see everything as a transaction. They can never be just nice for the sake of being nice. So usually nice guys are extremely nice in front of women because they want sex from women, right? Nice guys are very nice in front of other people because they want other people to like them. They want other people to be pleased by them. They want the approval of other people. They want the acceptance of other people. And they want to avoid disapproval, and they want to avoid competition, or they want to avoid any kind of conflict. So nice guys are givers, but they give with expectations, which is a fucked up thing, right? If you have decided to give something, give it. If you have decided to love somebody, love it without expecting anything from them, right? If you are deciding to do something nice for somebody, don't have a string attached. They don't need to have a set of expectations that automatically come. If you are expecting something, then tell them very clearly that, hey, listen, I did this for you, and in future, if I am in a need, I want you to do this for me. So make that very clear. Don't keep that invisible. Don't be quiet about it, right? If you are going to have expectations, then have a clarity of expectations, right? Communicate your expectations very clearly, or this is called managing expectations. So manage your expectations very clearly. Another thing is that nice guys always try to fix and caretake. They always think that they are the problem for everything. They are the reason that everything bad is happening around them, and they always try to fix and caretake. They always try to fix the problems that they have not caused, right? So even if that problem is not theirs, they are going to jump on the problem, and they're going to be like, let me solve it. They try to caretake. They try to, like, caretaking, taking somebody's care is a good thing, but overdoing it is a bad thing. But nice guys don't understand the boundary. They tend to go very very over the line of just caring for somebody. They try to treat other people as if they are babies, and especially try to treat other women as if they are little babies, and they have to parent them. They have to become their parent. They have to become their dad, right? So you have to stop always trying to fix things and caretake. Okay, let other people be. Focus on yourself. Nice guys are always seeking approval from others, especially women. Okay, this should be very very obvious. Of course, this is true. They avoid conflict, and they are not truthful. One of the problems with speaking the truth is, if you speak the truth, if you are very truthful, if you are a very authentic person, it would upset people sometimes. It is going to make other people upset. It is going to get on people's nerve, because you are going to be very very brutal with your truth, right? So being truthful also invites conflict, and also invites competition, and it also invites somebody else's the furious side. So nice guys will try to lie or manipulate or hide the truth, so that the other person does not get offended, the other person does not get the feelings hurt, or the other person does not lashes out on them, because a nice guy is constantly trying to avoid disapproval. So it's important for a nice guy to get somebody's approval. Even if they have to lie constantly in order to get somebody's approval, they will lie, right? But they are not going to tell the truth as it is. This is a major problem with nice guys. They constantly try to hide their flaws and mistakes. Now we are going to talk about this a little bit more when we reach towards the developmental structure or the developmental process of a nice guy. How nice guys develop their personalities like that. We are going to talk a little bit more about that. But right now, I'll say that a nice guy is constantly trying to hide their flaws and their mistakes, right? So if they have done a mistake, instead of being like, yeah, I fucked up, I messed up, it was my bad, I'm sorry, next time I'm going to do it right. Instead of taking the responsibility for the mistake, they will try to hide the mistake. They'll try to find rationalizations why that mistake was supposed to happen, or why that was not their fault, or why they should not be responsible for that mistake. Okay. They also try to hide their flaws. So they're not going to be very vulnerable about their weaknesses or with their human side or maybe with their dark side, right? Which is also called the shadow self. But I am trying to avoid going very deep into things like a shadow, things like, your ego or something. We are going to keep the entire conversation focused very, very precisely on the problem of nice guys. They constantly try to hide the flaws and mistakes. They have a need to do everything right and perfectly. So nice guys tend to be perfectionists. Nice guys tend to do everything right. They're not doing what they want to do. They're doing what other people think is the right thing to do, or they're doing what they think is right, not what they actually want to do. They also repress their feelings a lot, which is a very classic thing that nice guys do. Nice guys will repress their feelings and will manipulate their feelings, will manipulate the truth in order to not show their emotions. Because when it comes to emotions, nice guys get very defensive because emotions are very chaotic. And since they don't understand themselves very well, since they don't have a very clear idea or very clear picture of the reality, they don't have a very functioning worldview, they try to stay away from things like their own emotions and other people's emotions. So they will try to, instead of just listening to other people and empathizing with them, they will always try to give a solution. They will always try to fix a problem, right? Instead of just sitting there and listening to somebody's pain or listening to somebody's complaints, listening to what somebody is going through and taking a moment to understand and listen properly of to what somebody is going through, what they're going to do is they're going to repress their feelings. They are going to shy away from showing any kind of feelings or any kind of emotions. They try to be different from their fathers or other men. Now this is a deeper aspect of a nice guy. This may not be very obvious on the surface. So this may not be very obvious on the surface, but usually the problem with nice guys is that they try to be very, very different from their fathers or other men, right? They want to stand out to such a degree that they alienate themselves from other men, or they alienate themselves from the world of men in general, right? So they may become a person who is like, fuck sports is bad, and because sports makes people aggressive, right? They may stay away from things like guys do, right? Like a fight with each other, or not like serious fighting, but like just play with each other aggressively. So they can judge it, they can place a value judgment on that, like that is bad and that should not be happening. So they try to be different from their fathers or men. This is also something that we are going to talk in much detail in the coming chapters. Nice guys are dishonest, they are secretive, that is, they keep a lot of secrets, they are manipulative, they are controlling, they give with expectations, they are rageful, they are passive aggressive, they have difficulty setting boundaries, they are isolated, and they are lonely. So these are some common things that you can try to relate. Like if you are doing any of these things, then you have to understand and you have to accept that you fall under the category of a nice guy. Now, this is not a bad thing because it's not your fault that you have fallen under this category. But you can take the responsibility of it, and you can get out of this, and you can become a healthy male, or what Robert Bly calls an integrated male, right? Or what Carl Jung would call a individuated male, right? Or what Friedrich Nietzsche would call a Ubermensch, so a Superman kind of. So you have to get over all these qualities. These things are very childish. These things are very silly. These things do not make sense in the real adult world. Okay. So if there are characteristics that you can relate to, then comment them down. Let me know that, yeah, there are some things that you also relate to, and these things are happening in your own life, so that we also have some clarity and I can also provide better answers in the future. So if you have any of these traits that you can relate to, then make sure that you drop them in the comments and let me know. Let's go to 1.2. What do I mean by nice guy and why is such a bad thing? So the starting point is the world is governed by a set of rules, but nice guys think that they can manipulate it. Due to their bad childhood and upbringing, they usually tend to be manipulative and deceitful and untrustworthy, right? So you have to understand that the society that you're functioning in, the society that you're living in, and the world that you're living in, they're governed by a set of rules. Like there are things that just you cannot just avoid, right? There are rules that you have to follow. There are rules that you have to implement in your life if you want to live peacefully, if you want to live like a useful member of the society. So the world is governed by a set of rules, but nice guys think that they can manipulate it by being nice, right? Now, think about it. It's such a fucked up thing, right? Just because you're nice, it doesn't mean that somebody else is going to give you a job. That's just because you're nice. It doesn't mean that somebody else is going to buy from you. Just because you're nice, it doesn't mean that the girl is going to sleep with you or the girl is going to date you. Just because you're nice, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be friends with you. Bro, niceness don't mean shit, right? You have to automatically be nice to everybody. It's not a bonus thing. It's not a ethical thing that you're doing for me, right? You have to be nice. When you are born, we all agreed that we are going to be nice to each other, right? When you go into the society, you already agree to the invisible agreement that you are going to be nice to other members of the society. Because if you are not nice, then other people will fuck with you, and you don't want that. So being nice is being polite, and being nice and being respectful with other people is something that should be the default, right? Something that should be at the surface level. Just because you're nice, it doesn't mean shit to me. It doesn't mean shit to anybody. The world does not care how nice you are. Right? What the world cares about is, can you solve a problem? Can you fight a fight? Can you be aggressive? Can you do something unethical when the time is right? Right? Can you defend yourself? Can you defend your family? Can you defend your friends? Can you defend your job? Can you defend your business? Because other people are constantly trying to eat you. The other people are constantly trying to destroy you, right? If you're in a business, then there are other business men who are actively seeking out strategies to crush the competition, right? The same happens in sports, the same happens in college, the same happens in dating, the same happens in a job. You're always competing with other people, but there are rules to that competition, right? The first rule is, you cannot just murder somebody that you don't like. You cannot just decapitate and kill somebody and shoot somebody in the head if you don't like, because we have created a rule that play by the rules. You are living in a society and we have created a rule, so you have to play by the rules. If you don't, then the entire society is going to fuck with you, and you against the entire world is always going to be a one-sided battle. The world will always win. It doesn't matter if you're Hitler or if you're Alexander the Great, whoever the fuck you are, right? If you are against the world is always going to win 100% of the time. So play by the rules. Understand that there is a way to function in the world, and respect that. Understand that, right? Abide by that. So due to their bad childhood and upbringing, they usually tend to be manipulative and deceitful and untrustworthy. These things are all developed. These kind of behavior patterns are developed in your childhood, because usually as a kid, as a child, you don't have a lot of control over a lot of things. The only thing that you have control over is when you cry, your mom or your dad comes to you and they give you love. So it becomes a habit pattern. Even when you are a grown up man, You keep on crying and bitching about things, thinking that somebody would come and somebody would, like, give you love, somebody would give you sympathy, like, oh my baby, don't cry, everything is going to be all right, I'm here with you. So consciously or unconsciously, you are still seeking a mother figure that will come and pamper you. You're still seeking a father figure that will come and guide you through the life. Let's move on to the next point. They feel that they are not okay the way they are. They feel that they are somehow broken. They feel that they are somehow flawed. They feel that they are uniquely flawed from other people. This is also a classic thing or a classic mindset of a nice guy. They think that they are not okay the way they are and they have to be perfect in everything in order to be loved by and accepted by other people, in order to become a more successful and high status male. They believe that the world and people in it are inherently evil, so they cannot trust anybody. All nice guys have trust issues. Every nice guy has trust issues. And this shows in business, this shows in work, this shows in relationship, this shows with their friends, this shows with their family. A nice guy's lack of trust is so much that often a nice guy is going to be okay being a control freak than trusting other people. Nice guys have this mentality that they're against the world or the world is against them. It's me versus the world, or us versus them, or me versus them. Nice guys believe that they are the central good, you know, good characters of the world, and everybody else around them is evil. Everybody else around them is trying to take advantage of them, which is not true, right? If you believe that the world is evil, then why make friends? Because all the friends that you have, they are the part of the world. Why build relationships? Because you are going to build relationships with other people and other people are the part of the world. Why do anything for anybody? Why not just die? So if you believe that the world is an evil place, you also have to understand that you cannot solve it just by yourself, right? Even Gandhi could not, even Martin Luther King could not, even Nelson Mandela could not. Even if the world is evil, let's just hypothetically say that the world is evil, then what the fuck you're going to do? Why don't you just go to a mountain and sit there alone and meditate? Why don't you just kill yourself? Right? So we have to think that the world is a positive place. The world is an amazing, a beautiful place. We have to believe this, right? We don't know what is real, what is not real. We don't know what is true, what is not true. We may never know that the world is good or the world is evil, right? If we were created for a reason, if there is a meaning behind my existence, behind your existence, or everything is meaningless, we are never going to know. So we have to go with the most optimistic mindset. We have to go with the most optimistic story of the world, right? We have to go with the most positive narrative. Almost everything they do is to avoid disapproval or to seek approval. We have all already talked about that. Or please people, not to solve a problem or achieve a goal. So I told this when I was telling you the story of me playing a football, me playing football, or me starting to learn pickup and game and social skills. I would go out and I would take action just because somebody can give me a compliment, just to get the approval of my friends or other people that, yeah, yeah, Rahul is doing good. Rahul takes so much action. Rahul is such a cool guy. Rahul knows so much things. But I am not getting the result because my main focus is not on getting the result. My main focus was to get their approval, to get compliments, to get the validation from them. That was my game. That was my game. My main focus was never to get laid with quality women or never to win at a game, right? Because I was coming from a broken mindset. I thought that if everybody loved me, then I would feel better about myself and my self confidence will increase and I will get more girls, which is not true. A healthy man understands that he is enough, he is fine with his flaws, he understands that his insecurities, he understands that a life is a journey and maybe things will never be perfect. Life will always be challenging, but the adventure of life is going to be good. A healthy man likes himself and respects himself. A healthy male also likes the world. A grown up, healthy adult male or an alpha male You can say we are going to use the term alpha male. Okay. So the alpha male likes himself. He likes the way the world is. He likes the way women are. He likes everything about the world because that is the best strategy to take on, right? Whether you're, I'm not telling you to be, I'm not preaching about positivity. I'm not preaching about, positive psychology or something. But even pragmatically speaking, even if I'm saying things from a grain of sand, I would say that being positive and being optimistic is one of the best strategies to live your life. So a healthy man or an alpha male understands all these things, that he is enough, right? He is enough. He understands that he has flaws and he has insecurities, but so do everybody else, right? Everybody has flaws. Everybody has insecurities. Everybody shits. Everybody takes a piss. Everybody gets sick. Everybody dies someday. Everybody does something bad. Everybody has bad thoughts. Everybody has fucked up sexual fantasies. Everybody has, weird thoughts of aggression in their head. Everybody has an evil in them. Everybody is just human. We are just, everybody is a monkey, right? We are just hairless monkeys. Not so much of me because I am very hairy. So you cannot say that I'm a hairless monkey, because you can say that I'm a very hairy monkey. But most human beings are not as hairy as me. And so, yeah. So you have to understand all these things, right? That there is not a lot of difference between a beggar and a millionaire. The only difference is a beggar has less paper and a billionaire has more paper of a certain kind, right? A millionaire has more numbers in his bank account and a beggar has no numbers in his bank account, right? But this is a surface level layer problem. And this is a very, very surface layer mindset to have. Like a beggar is very, very similar to even a king, because a king also doubts himself just like a beggar. A king also needs to sleep, eat, he also gets sick. He also needs to take a shit. Sometimes he's going to have diarrhea. Sometimes he's going to feel pukish. Sometimes he's going to have food poisoning. And everybody is similar. All human beings are similar. It's just that the king has understood some principles of life and some principles, some core principles of the universe, and he's playing by the rules. But the beggar is not playing by the rules. This is the reason the beggar is fucked up and the beggar is miserable. But the king has the material pleasures. But both of them cannot avoid the fatal disease of being a human being, right? They cannot avoid the disease of life itself. They both are alive. That means they both are going to die one day. They both are going to suffer. They both are going to experience pain in their life. They both are going to feel horny. They both are going to feel hungry. They both are going to feel anxious. They both are going to feel depressed. These things are common in all people, right? You can be sad in a Mercedes or you can be sad on a footpath. It's better to be sad in a Mercedes. It's better to be sad in a mansion than to be sad in footpath, right? It's better to be hungry and know that you can eat whatever you want. It's not cool to be hungry and not know when the next meal is going to come, right? Anyways, so we talked a little bit about healthy meal. What do I mean by a nice guy and why is a bad thing? This is the third slide. This is going to conclude the first chapter. Right? Nice guys are like pet dogs or rabbits. Now, I think I have taken this line from another Jordan Peterson lecture, or maybe the book of Friedrich Nietzsche, maybe Good, Beyond Good and Evil, or somewhere. Like this is again, I'm quoting it from some book. Right? Nice guys are like pet dogs or rabbits. They're completely powerless, and the only way for them to survive is to please their owners. Right? So, if you have ever had a pet, this would be very, very obvious to you. I have two cats. Like I have some cats in my house, and whenever I am eating chicken, they're going to come. They're going to be very cute. They're going to rub their body against my leg. They are going to meow at me. They're going to look at me with, the big anime eyes. They're not doing it selflessly. There is a reason they're doing it, because they know that if they do it, I'll feel pity and I'll give them food. If I am not giving them food, they're not never going to love me. Sorry, all animals are selfish. Even if a dog, right? He cares about you, but because he knows, he waves his tail at you, and he like he's acting all cute and all, happy and all positive and all so cute, so pretty, right? When you see him. Why? Because that dog knows that he cannot stay out on his own. Other dogs are going to eat him. He will die on his own. So the best chance for him to survive is to make you happy, is to please you, is to seek your approval, is to seek your validation. And to be honest, this is how exactly dogs and cats, or all pet animals, all domestic animals, have been evolved. They evolved to be cute so that they can get the pity of human beings, right? We are literally like gods for them. They literally need to please us in order to survive. Okay, they cannot do anything on their own. They're not like a pack of wolves. A pack of wolves survives on their own. And even if you give them some meat, they're not going to become your friend. They're not going to wave your tail at you. They will still eat you, right? So you better not fuck with wolves. So nice guys or soft men or wimpy men or weak men, they're like pet dogs or rabbits. They're completely powerless, and the only way for them to survive is to please their owners and look cute in front of them, so that they can get shelter and food and attention. Being a rabbit is not virtuous. And the only thing a rabbit can do is get eaten. That's it. He cannot do anything. He does not have any aggression. He does not have any weapons. Right? If I don't feed my cat for a day, my cat is going to go out and hunt rats. It can easily do that. If my cat is a very good hunter, I don't know how. My cat will go out and hunt birds. Like he will, like, grab some pigeon and he will bring it home. My cat can survive on its own, right? But not a rabbit, not a puppy, right? So being like a puppy, being like a rabbit, being like a deer, being like a sheep, being like a cow, being like a lamb is not virtuous. The only thing that will happen to you is you're going to get eaten. You're going to get completely demolished. You're going to get completely destroyed by other creatures, right? In order to be an integrated man, you must become a lion. You must become a little bit selfish. You must become aggressive, right? You must become a little bit dangerous. You have to be willing to have that touch of evil in you. You have to be willing to have that dark side, or accept the dark side that you have, right? You must become like a lion. You must be a little bit selfish. You must ask for what you want. You must become assertive, or shall I say, demand what you want, right? You must be willing to take risks, take challenges, and face adversities. You must be willing to go into competition. You must be willing to fight somebody else if the need of fighting presents itself. So these are all some of the things that are like a mindset thing, right? You have to understand these things. These things are like the essence of not being a nice guy, right? Because why do you have to be a nice guy, bro? Can't you just be a guy? Can't you just be a man? Like, why do you have to add the nice thing in front of that, right? Why do you have to be extra nice and please other people? So again, quoting Jordan Peterson as it is, as he says that, and that's to say, if you are harmless, you are not virtuous. You are just harmless. The same thing with a rabbit, right? Being a rabbit is not virtuous. If you're harmless, you're not virtuous. You are just harmless. You are like a rabbit. Rabbit isn't virtuous. It can't do anything except get eaten. If you're a monster and if you don't act monstrously, then you're virtuous, right? If you have the capacity for destruction, if you have the capacity for evil, if you have that aggression in you, right? If you have the claws, if you have the weapons, if you have the smarts, if you have that dark side, and you use that for a good purpose, you use that constructively, then you're virtuous. If you're a monster and if you decide not to act monstrously in the world, if you decide not to, you know, be a tyrant in the world, not to be an evil motherfucker asshole in the world, then you are a virtuous guy, right? Having a gun and deciding that I'm not going to use it, I am going to use my punches for self defense, that is called being virtuous. But if you don't have gun, if you don't have a you do if you don't know how to punch, if you don't know how to use any weapons, then in a fight you are always going to be defeated, right? No matter how nice you are always going to be defeated. So you have to understand that the entire world does not just work on niceness, or the entire world does not just work on love. You cannot just love and be positive all the time, and like be nice and polite and generous all the time, right? Nice guys are like chameleons. So I don't know whether I should pronounce it as chameleon or chameleons, but I'm going to go with chameleons because CH. So nice guys are like chameleons. They believe that if they can hide their flaws and imperfections and become what other wants them to be, then they will be loved, get the needs met, and have a problem-free life. So do you relate to all these things? When I was reading this book, everything was hitting me like a bullet, like everything is on point. So this guy has done an amazing job of writing this book. And here we are going to be concluding the first part of the video. If you like this video, then take a moment to subscribe, comment what are some areas that you need help on. If you want to talk with me one-on-one, then you can follow me on Instagram, and you can also join my private groups. You can also join my Telegram group and WhatsApp groups, where there are a lot of like-minded people. You can learn a lot from there. You can go into a lot of discussions. You can go into a lot of debates. You can ask questions. You can see how other people are getting their own results. So all these things are free. Follow my Instagram, join my groups, Telegram or WhatsApp. All the links are going to be in the description. If you want to get back to me, if you want to text me, the best way to do that would be to text me on Instagram. I'll get back to you in the shortest amount of time possible. Thank you so much for watching the first lecture, the first series, and share it if you like it. If there is a person who can benefit out of this, then share this video with them, share this series with them, so that they can also get out of this nice guy syndrome, right? They can also get out of this black hole that is making their life hell. And I'm going to see you in the next video very soon. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.